Greetings guys, David J Coon with Qigong Awareness. Let's talk about grounding. And while we're talking about grounding, let's practice some grounding, or at least move in the direction of grounding at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and take hands. We're going to hold them down here to the lower dantian. My thumbs are roughly at the middle or the lower rim of my belly button. I'm going to place both my hands here like so. I'm going to bend my knees. I want to make sure my knees are slightly bent so I'm not cutting off my blood circulation. Now, I want to begin having this sensation that I'm sinking, but my legs are also holding me up. So my butt is sinking, my tailbone is sinking, but my legs are also holding me up. One of the fine balances that you have to find with Qigong practice is to go with just enough tension that you're holding yourself up and relaxed enough that you can allow the musculature to relax so that the qi can flow. This is very important. Also, when it now comes to grounding practice, you can keep your hands right where they are, but watch what I'm doing here to gesture. We want to bring the mind's attention here to the forehead, to the frontal lobe, to the third eye. We then want to move the attention down to where our hands are. That's going to take some practice. When you find yourself drifting off over here and thinking about something at home, you're no longer thinking about your hands, and you're no longer thinking about that deeper cavern of the lower dantian. So it's going to take some time, but I want you to keep putting your attention here. One thing that you can do to keep bringing some attention here, especially for those of you that are new, later on you don't need to do this, but in the beginning, is just move the hands side to side, move the hands up and down, even shake this area for a moment. And we might do this for other reasons, but as far as for grounding practice, we can just shake that and then stop. We're attempting to bring our mind to that area. Once you feel like you have some degree of mindfulness in that area, you now want to walk your mind down your legs, down to your knees, and down to your feet. That's going to take a little bit of practice. As we start practicing Qigong at greater lengths, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, etc., regardless of what the practice is, but it's also true for still practices like this one called Standing Tree Meditation, we are going to gather a ton of really good qi from this particular practice, but we're also going to cause a detoxification of our tissues, our organs, etc., and we're going to have emotional detoxification. For some of you, that'll be anxiety. For some of you, you'll just feel weird in your body. Stagnant emotion, when it begins to rise into your awareness, can feel weird. Those of you who are familiar with Eckhart Toll's teaching of the pain body, you can also have a reference for this, because as you're practicing stillness, which I'm doing right here, this is also a practice of what? Meditation. And as we practice meditation, we gather energy to ourselves. Subtle energy, more than you realize. Most people are so identified with their physical body that they immediately start going, oh, my digestion feels weird. Oh, I think I have anxiety. Oh, what about that pain in my hip? Those things are all there. As you get better at practicing, the more advanced practice is to, again, bring the attention down, stay rooted here. Because those emotions and those feelings and the pain is like winds trying to blow you around. So you're attempting to stay rooted to the ground. Here should be very relaxed, as best as you can relax it. The legs, again, are just tight enough to hold you up. Initially, that will take some practice. As you get better at this, you can then go to the next level of this practice, which is to hold it all. Like, in other words, hold the posture, hold the hands, hold the mental posture, bringing your attention here, bringing it down here, putting it down and meditating on, focusing on your feet. And now you can have what I might call in this moment a power meditation, notice my eyes are just gazing. I'm not looking all around the room. If you guys weren't there and I was practicing on my own, when you get better at this practice, I recommend you do it with eyes closed. But initially, it's good to start with eyes open and just gazing. Now, the discomfort that you're going to start feeling, those of you that want to do this, hang in there with me because we're going to go for a few more minutes. The tension that you're going to feel rising in your body, if it becomes too much, if you become nauseous, you feel uncomfortable, you feel like you have to go to the bathroom, you just stop the video, walk it off, shake it off, you'll be fine. What goes up must come down. But as you practice this a little bit longer, you're going to feel an achiness starting to permeate different areas of your body, very specific areas of your body. In fact, this is your body's way, it's one way of saying it, it's your body's way of showing you where the chi is stagnating. Where is it stuck? So if right now you feel a lot of pain and ache in your lower back, that's where it's stuck. If you feel an ache in your right knee, that's where the chi is stuck. The good news is, this is not skiing. We're not skiing here. You're not going to hurt yourself doing this, okay? Unless, like I said, if you feel dizzy or anything, then please sit down. Don't stay standing. But other than that, you're not going to hurt yourself doing this. But this pain, this underlying pain will come to the surface. That is one word, one set of words for that is the emotional body. That is what Eckhart Toll calls the pain body. It's coming into your awareness. And is it associated, for those of you that are intellectuals and know the term and study these kinds of things, is that the ego? Yes, it is. So when we practice meditation and we practice stillness, are we practicing interrupting the interrupter? Yes, we are. Who's the interrupter? The ego. The ego is the interrupter of flow. So to restore flow, do we sometimes need to interrupt the interrupter? Yes, we do. How do we do that? By practicing stillness and doing everything you can. I remember the early years of being a beginner. My mind was all over the place and I was just trying to hold the posture and I was thinking about, did I leave the toaster on at home and when was this session going to be over and all of those kinds of things. But to the best of your ability, you want to bring your mind's attention to that frontal lobe of your brain, like I said, right between your eyebrows, this area where you see the Buddha behind me, have a little dot between the eyebrows. And then you want to bring that attention down to where your hands are. And you want to feel. It's not going to feel great initially. Some of you, first of all, won't feel anything. Then, as the energy starts to move, this is when you'll start feeling some discomfort or something happening down there. Why? Because this is the seat of the emotional body, the seat of the pain body. And we're going to set it on fire. If you ever watch or see some pictures of the Buddha with the lower belly on fire, ever see any images like that? This is the cauldron that we talk about in Taoism and Zen and Buddhist practices and so on. This is the cauldron. We set the cauldron on fire. Very important during this practice that you keep your knees slightly bent so that you don't cut off the blood circulation. Now, when we go to move our body out of this, okay, great job if you're able to stick with me for any part of that. As we go to move our body out of that, the body feels very stiff and it feels more stiff in certain areas than others. For me right now, I feel that kind of in my low back and hips, which is very common during Qigong practice. So we're going to loosen it up with a little bit of Dao in. This is tapping. We're just going to tap back here. Tap, 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 tap. Double hands at the same time or one at a time. we're now going to just kind of shake our hands like this and bring this back to movement. The moment that we do this, we're dissipating that stagnation and we're moving it around, but we're also going to lose some awareness of our emotional body because we're not as still anymore, which is good. This is all good. But now what we want to do, you may notice you feel like a little foggy in your head or a little ungrounded. So it's very important to also finish with getting even a little more grounded. So we're going to actually go like this. Inhale through the nose. We're going to use our waterfall. We're going to slowly walk the energy down through the center line, down through what we call the Tai Chi pole. It's just like a big pipe made of light. Exhale. At the end, just kind of try and make that sound there. We're going to go like you're putting it in the ground at the very end. And just bring our hands here for just a moment. This will be a nice cherry on top to bring some healing to the heart space. What you're going to want to do after this practice is you're going to want to go get a nice glass of water, drink some water, and drink enough water that in the next 20 minutes or something, you are peeing out the toxicity that we put into the bloodstream from the body. This is an initial practice for some of you anyway, maybe the first time you've ever practiced with me. So first practice in standing tree meditation. And even if you've done standing tree meditation before with me, maybe get some extra details here in terms of the connection between lower dantian and staying grounded. I look forward to seeing you soon. Please subscribe, tell a friend. I appreciate it. And let's see if we can get the world practicing Qigong, because I think the world would be a much better place if we were all practicing it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.